Turutsu's past. I forgot how you say this character's name. He's a character who dies in the first Avatar, and he was supposed to be Neytiri's lover before Jake showed up and all that stuff. And this comic is not like the Next Shadow, which I reviewed in a different video. This comic is very different. So why this comic is different is because this is not like the Next Shadow, which is a comic book prequel, or not prequel, sequel to the first Avatar. This is a prequel slash midquel. So the first few pages of this book are a prequel going into Tsu'Tey's. I forgot how you say this character's name. I'm so sorry. Navi's language and characters are honestly just hard to say in general or speak or understand. That's why they don't speak a lot of it in the movie, and they speak a lot of English, so we as an audience can understand. So, but so the first pages go into this character before the first Avatar starts, basically, and it's him training people to hunt and stuff and be a leader, and you kind of see that, and then you kind of get a glimpse into more in Neytiri and his relationship. Because, again, he was supposed to end up with her, and that was kind of what was happening before Jake showed up, but then the scene continue into the book, and that's when it becomes a mid-quote, because we see Jake come into the Navis and what leads up to his death and all these things, but we get more from this is like perspective of the first Avatar and what that means and stuff. Instead of it just being from Jake's perspective and Neytiri's perspective, it's more from his perspective, and and you see more of him again trying to be a leader, him and Neytiri's relationship and how that's kind of falling apart because Jake's here and she's kind of into Jake, and it's just this whole thing. I think what I don't like about this book though is this is a character that died in the first Avatar, and they make this book as a prequel slash midquel to add depth to the character, but I think it really doesn't add much depth to the character because all this could have been presumed, right? We know that they were supposed to be lovers in the first Avatar. We kind of get that implication. We know he doesn't like Jake, and we understand why, because he doesn't like the Sky People, which he shouldn't like the Sky People, because fucking shit up, we get why all that's happening in this book or in the movie, and so when this book comes along to add things to it, it's just kind of like whatever. If you just really want more out of the Avatar world, it's definitely worth at least one read. However, I think the Next Shadow actually does a better job of adding to the story, even though it's kind of generic, because it's a story about Jake working to become a leader and dealing with that, which is something that we didn't get to see in Avatar. This is something that about 50% of we saw in Avatar, and then the other 50% of we could have already presumed and guessed happened. I would like more depth to Neytiri and his relationship, and I think they do a decent job at that. But however, I think that's a little too much to ask from this book, because Jake and Neytiri's relationship was not very good in the first Avatar. It's actually something I criticized when I reviewed that movie on my main channel. If you don't know, I have my main channel, Chan's Movie Vlog channel. But yeah, I just think that this book it's all right. It's again, if you love Avatar, you want more out of that world, like I do, read this. Otherwise, if you can get this comic for cheap and read it, cool. But otherwise, it's really not worth like the $20, maybe $10 that I paid for this book. But yeah, I'm excited for the next few Dark Horse comics and stuff. I will be reviewing those on my main channel, because the reason I'm reviewing these on this channel is because those books are not those books that I'm going to be reviewing on my main channel are the ones coming out, and these are ones that have already come out. So it's just like late reviews to comics, and I don't know how many people would be interested in that, so I'm just posting it here instead.